Orlando, Florida. Let's pose a scenario. Somehow, some way, your restaurant closes today. It's closed. Not for one day, forever. It's closed, it's done. Who cares? You? Theoretically you, right? Cool. Does your employee care? Does your customer care? So if your customer was to say, oh man, that sucks, I like them, okay, then there's a problem. There's inherently a problem if that's all the reaction. If you close today, and it's for no fault of your own, it's not some dirty tactic, it just closed by an act of God, and your employee has no job, is their reaction, okay, let's just get another job, or are they destroyed? If they have a feeling that now there is an emptiness in them because they no longer work at your place, then you are doing this correctly. If that sounds like a notion, then you are not. And that all boils down to leadership. Straight up, nothing else. There's many subsets, but it's leadership. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. So who am I? We're going to go back. I am many things. I'm a world pizza champion. I'm a kid who opened a restaurant at the age of 22, 6 months out of college. I'm an author. I wrote a book called Unsliced. It is a self-help book for restaurants, specifically pizza, but all restaurants. I am not a cocky man. I am not. But I will say this. It is the greatest restaurant self-help book, definitely in the pizza segment, maybe in all. And if you don't think so, if you read that book and you think that that was not worth your time, email me. The email's in the back. I will pay you $100. Because that is 18 years of effort of how to do this effectively that I've curated from all the best in the industry and put into one book. It is not the story of me. It is not how I found myself in high school. It is not all sorts of musings. It's functional stuff for you to take to your restaurant and do what you need to do to make money, to make profit, to truly connect with the customer, and to market effectively. Now, with that said, when you own a pizza restaurant, you just get your ass handed to you all the time. If things are great, your ass is getting handed to you. If it's dead, your ass is getting handed to you because it is a hard industry. No one wants to have a burger in 30 minutes or less delivered to them. Pizza has had that expectation for 40 years. It is cutthroat. It is more competitive than Wall Street. There is a saturation like nobody's business, and everyone is racing to fight for the cheapest pizza. There's a problem though. In pizza, you cannot be the most convenient. None of us can win that game, but you can be the best. And here's the problem with that. No one wants to be or go to the second best pizza place in town. But being the best is easier than being the most convenient. And that is what I strive to do with my staff. And leading them to be stoked about their job is the only way I do that. So, who works for you? Who right now works for you? It is not the greatest generation or Depression era people. They do not work anywhere. They are aging out in their 80s or older at this point. These people in the Depression had pain, true unbridled pain that made them value a dollar very, very strongly. Then they made hippies. They made baby boomers. And that's fine. Baby boomers struck gold in the economy because they bought stuff when it was cheap, and now they're just rich and they think that they're the ones who did it. You didn't. The economy just was a gift to you. And good for you, baby boomers. Huzzah. Then you have my group, the Gen X. Now, technically, I am on the cusp of being a millennial, but no, I will not. I will not. Nothing against you. I'm going to explain millennials in a moment, but I am Gen X. And Gen X kids are an interesting group. Their parents, their baby boomers who are very self-involved, didn't pay a lot of attention to them. And as a result, depression is high, but also the ability to execute and do things on their own. Latchkey kids could go out and do things on their own. And then they're sad about it. So when they had kids, what did they do? I'm going to be around you every second of every day and let you never, ever, ever fear that I'm not there. I love you so much, my millennial child, that you will know what love is. But don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Wait, don't do that. Don't do that. Hold on. No. We're not, don't play outside. Just go to soccer and I'll take you there. And I'll take you there. And I'll take you there. And so they're not depressed. They have anxiety. And they don't have a path to carve. They cannot carve a path, not easily, mind you, because they've always had one carved for them. It's a pro and a con. Now, with that said, let's break it down into Star Wars for a second. Star Wars, if you are Gen X or a baby boomer, you took your kids there. You waited in line. You saw Star Wars with your kids. If you are my generation, you dressed up and were a nerd for Star Wars, and you cared way too much about it if you're Gen X. If you're a millennial, you ruined Star Wars. You ruined it. It was great. And you ruined it. If you're wondering if that's true or not, you're wrong. You ruined it. But I say that, and it kind of already was ruined in the 70s with the holiday special. So as much as you did ruin it, did you? Because maybe anyone could screw up. And maybe, just maybe, you could have new Star Wars that's kind of cool. Now, this is not a speech on Star Wars, but as much as the millennial, slightly not millennial Gen X in me says, no, it was cool, then it wasn't, then it's cool again. But it wasn't cool then. But now it's cool again. But hold on, it wasn't cool. So what's the point here, Mike? Anything could suck, and anything could be great when effort is applied. Any generation could fail. Any generation can destroy when they're set up for success. So if you have staff right now working for you, and you have this thought that hits your brain often, sibilance, Niners, sibilance. All right, that's like NASCAR. Good job, Mike Bausch. All right, I'm going to put this down. So let's look at the Joker. Cesar Romero, horrible Joker. Horrible first Joker. Who knows Cesar Romero? Anyone? I got a millennial that knows Cesar Romero, and I got baby boomers that don't. I don't buy that. Who else we got? Guys, the slides work, I swear. Oh, come on. All right, I'm going to show all. So we have the Gen X Joker in Jack Nicholson. We have the millennial Joker, arguably the best Joker, arguably. And then we have a Zennial Joker, easily the worst. Worse than Romero. Way worse than Jared Leto. And now we have another Joker. And again, my point is, all of you could fail. All of you could be great, depending on your generation. Success and failure is not representative of age. It's representative of circumstances. It's representative of work and thought. So, who works for you right now? If you have a young staff, they barely remember 9/11, or they weren't alive. They weren't alive. It's history to them. It's the way you look at Pearl Harbor, is the way they look at 9/11. That's a crazy notion if you start to break it down and how cataclysmic that was to society and what has happened since then. You still are thankful that you have TSA pre, because it means you don't have to take your shoes off because of something that happened 21 years ago. And if you're like me, you take so much joy in having TSA pre and walking past the slum of the earth that still waits in line to take off their shoes as you, the higher echelon of society that went and got your TSA pre ahead of time. That's what's happened because of that event, and your staff wasn't alive for it. You have a group of kids whose parents, more likely than not, did not fight in a war. Now, they might have a few that were in Desert Storm or something, but the likelihood is small. If you are a Gen Xer, the likelihood is strong that you have a parent that was either fighting against or fought in Vietnam. If you are older than that, then your parents were in World War II or in Korea. Those wars led to social change. Those wars led to how people conducted society throughout their PTSD, throughout a litany of issues. And because society is happier and nicer now, we have staff that is not as aggressive. So if you're like, why do these kids not want to work? It's because they're not as aggressive. And that's a good thing. It's not bad. Kids who like each other's posts, if that is insane to you, if all the love, and that's amazing, oh my God, super job. If that's just crazy to you, understand it's theoretically a good thing. People are being nice to each other. Just brace for it. Because if you're like me and you're a Gen Xer, in your head, you still have the 7th grader that says to everything that occurs, lame, lame. They don't have that voice. They're not self-analytical like you are. A good thing for you, if you could use them to get you to where you want to go. And here's how we're going to do it. Through caring about them. Through caring about them and leading by example and developing your business to be an enhancement to their lives, not them getting you through the day. They also don't know Ozzy Osbourne. That's a big sticking point for me. This is a real tweet of someone who noted that when Ozzy Osbourne sang on a Post Malone song, way to go, Posty, always finding new talent. That's a real tweet. And to some of you, you're going to remember that. That's the defining thing you should take from this. They don't know Ozzy Osbourne. So that's who works for you right now. Now, you might have some kids that are older than that, but I want to emphasize, if you ever say the phrase, they're idiots, I can't do anything with them, that is the weakest phrase you will ever say in your life. That is weak. That shows you have not invested. You are the not smart person. And to put it in perspective, I love someone who is not smart, because that means they have the potential to become smart. In all of the restaurant industry, all of us fall into 3 distinct categories at some point. All of us at some point in the restaurant industry were 3 things. You're either a jerk, a sleaze, or an idiot. Every restaurant help show has a jerk, a sleaze, or an idiot. The jerk is yelling at the staff. The sleaze is stealing from them and hitting on the hostess. And then the idiot that they come in and save just doesn't know any better. Yay for the idiot, because they could become smart one day. And that's the restaurant that's successful. That's the restaurant when they come back a year later, they're doing great. Absorb being an idiot, because that says, I don't know everything. And I'm not saying that as a derogatory. I'm saying when you're like, I think I might just be an idiot at this, but I'm gonna get smarter. When you announce, I don't know everything, guess what? It means you might be able to know something someday. And that is what you have to look at if you're having problems with your staff today. They want to like where they work. You want them to be successful. The disconnect is investment. It's caring about teaching them and not getting so annoyed. The patience to teach them, the patience to carve a path. That's how you get winning. That's how you survive. So let's talk about laziness. Imagine again, Depression era, lazy. Hey, we don't have work for you. Imagine that sign this year. We don't have work for you. I have not seen that sign in a long ass time. If you look at the grand scheme of entertainment, to again, the greatest generation, they enjoyed life by reading books. If you are under that age in Gen X who was like, hey, stop watching TV, go read a book. If you advance past that, you can see here the radio. The radio was popular before TV. Go and listen to the radio. Stop listening to the radio, go read a book. This was entertainment. Fast forward to the Gen X, past the TV, past cable, you'll look at an RCA cable line. Your staff probably cannot install that. It's 3 colors that match up. And I defy you to see if they can install it. But look at what we thought of the future. That is a scene from Back to the Future Part 2, which takes place in the year 2015. In that episode, or that movie rather, there's a scene where, hey, Marty, why don't you go watch some TV? And that was kind of funny, right? Because it was always go read a book, go watch some TV. Your staff doesn't watch TV. That became true. They don't. They watch what? I know you know it. They watch the talks. They're watching their phone. They're watching their pocket television. They're not watching TV. They're not watching full-blown movies. They're watching their pocket television. But entertainment has consistently changed while always staying the same. Don't do that. Do what I did. Don't read a book. You should read a book and not TV. You should do that and not the radio. It's just gonna always change. But then, through all that laziness of always assuming the next generation is lazy, look at Regis Philbin. Now, I love Regis Philbin. I love Regis Philbin because till the day he died, he never, ever, 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 ever looked down on the next generation. Never did. You could have watched him in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s with Kathy Lee, in the 90s and 2000s with Kelly Ripa, and it was always the same. I went out with Joy last night, and we went to a new restaurant, and tonight we have Justin Bieber on the show. I saw what he tweeted. In his 80s, he was saying that. Because just in that mindset, he rode the wave. If you're looking, how am I gonna survive this industry? You just keep riding waves. When you look down on the next generation as lazy, you are the lazy one. You are the one not investing. You are the one sitting Indian style on the ground and saying, I'm done learning. It's akin to being a 5th grader and saying, hey, these new 4th graders, they don't know how to climb monkey bars. Back when I was a 4th grader, we knew what was what. That's the mindset when you don't ride the wave. So if you're having problems with staff and hiring and retaining and making them be stoked about life, I'm not saying start doing TikTok dances. I'm not saying follow your staff on social media. I'm saying don't look down on what they do because it's totally the same as what you did. It's just different. So how to keep staff? The bad news. I'm gonna give you the bad news first. The modern staff is entitled. My parents say I'm the most special person in the world. They feel entitled. These kids have had a website dedicated to their existence their whole life. They have had, on average, 10 photos or more taken of them in a week. There is only 80 photos of me in existence before the age of 15. That's the entitlement. They have no focus. Why would I look up the word in the dictionary? They don't need a dictionary. Siri, what does the word lackadaisical mean? They don't need to go to books. They're complacent. Why would I climb the corporate ladder? Are you providing me the ladder? That's the problem. Theoretically, good news. They're entitled. I deserve the best life experience at the best company. That entitlement is your best friend. How many of us in here are independent operators of some sort? Okay? So here's the cool thing. Theoretically, you all have souls. Theoretically. And Joe Blow Corporate, soulless curmudgeon. Theoretically, if I believe in my entitlement to deliver in this lifetime, I am much more inclined to come work for you than soulless corporate chain if you play it right. No focus without direction. Capture my attention. Make better food. Make food I believe in. Complacent. Now, I won't climb the corporate ladder unless you provide me the ladder. Provide the ladder. They're not trying to get one over on you. Gen Xers would. Baby boomers would. They're not trying to pull a fast one. They just want to exist. They're not trying to get a raise. They just want to have a better work-life balance. Imagine saying that phrase before 1995. I want a work-life balance. It would be no work. Work till you bleed, because otherwise we die. After 1995, that's not the thought. By 2015, it's not the thought. After a pandemic, it's not the thought. So maximize output with your staff. First things first, the application to work for you. If you want staff to work for you, make it stupid easy. If you think it's stupid easy and it takes me more than 3 clicks, it's not stupid easy. No tests. Do not test the staff. You should text them. You should get them in your door. So, anytime, when I applied for a restaurant job in the year 2000, I had to go in and fill out a paper exam, and then I was called back a week and a half later. I showed up in a suit, and then I interviewed, and then I was told a week after that if I got a job. Don't do that. That ain't gonna work. Right now, there should be a QR code in your building that immediately takes them to a hiring portal. Or even better yet, if they walk in and say, hey, I'd like to apply for a job, great, come sit down. And you should train your staff for the new hire protocol. I'm about to give you gold. I'm gonna blow your mind grapes, so get ready. The new hire protocol is be cool, man. And not just kind of be cool, like be super cool. If they come in, get them a slice of pizza or whatever you sell. Get them a drink. Have the manager come and introduce themselves and not interview them. You are not interviewing them. They are interviewing you. They can go anywhere and get a job. You need them. They are interviewing you. And if that is too hard for your ego, then you should not be the person to sit down with them. Sit down. Hey, where are you from? What do you do? Oh, that's so cool. Basically, you're gauging, can this person be taught? You're still interviewing them. You don't want to take someone that's substandard who would do damage to your business, but can this person be taught? Not, does this person already have the acumen that we need? Screw that. You teach them. That's on you. They just have to have acumen and ability. I'm going to tell you, right now, if you've ever gone to Vegas, you'll go and stay at a place like the Four Seasons, and maybe you'll stay at a place like Caesars. Maybe you'll stay at a place like Harrah's. The creme de la creme, mid-tier, garbage. Okay? Sorry to Harrah's people. If you love Harrah's, that's on you, man. That's not my bag. But creme de la creme. Here's the crazy thing. A lot of those people work at the same 3 places. Why? Or how is that possible? Well, at the Four Seasons, there's an expectation that we're going to care. And I'm going to care about you, Mr. Bellhop. I'm going to care about how your family is doing. I'm going to expect that you say and know the name of the people that come through, and you're going to get better tips. And then when you pick up some work at Caesars, you just have to not get in trouble, and they're going to say, hey, don't do that, but we're doing an incentive thing, and there you go. There's your job at Caesars. And at Harrah's, it's like, if I have to come and tell you something, you're probably getting fired. But that's the same person that works at all 3 places, a lot of them. It's not about the person, it's about the leadership. There's countless stories. I take restaurants, and I'll have a restaurant that has a leader, or what I think is a leader, and I change just one person in the store, the GM, and the full 180 can occur. Because leadership is everything. Leading by example, setting the tone, having expectations, believing in staff. These are the things that make you money. It's not just altruism, and have hiring retention. A leader is not someone who is just cocky. A leader supports. A leader believes. And that's what you need to do. Be a believer in your staff and have a belief in them day one when they walk in the door. So quick apply now card, QR code. I don't ask a lot of questions. What's your name? What's your phone number? What's your email? Have you ever eaten here? Let them fill it out. And then I ask them questions when I meet them. Not hard. The be cool approach is also called the warm blanket approach. Warm blanket to new staff when they come in. Now, once you have staff in your door, they are on the team. We have to build a fence. Build a fence and let them roam free inside that fence. So what is build a fence? They need to know the fence. What is allowed? What is not allowed? Let's go simple. Shirt and pants. You will wear pants? Is that an expectation? Jeans, khakis, Lululemons? No, yes? If they don't know that, and then they show up wearing tie-dye, is that allowed? My rule is pants. So if they wear tie-dye jeans, that's pants. You can go to town inside the fence, but we're not leggings because no shorts. That's the rule. I don't want to see leg hair while eating. So and it's also not safe. That's the fence. You will wear an Andolini's t-shirt. Not a hard rule, but don't wear something else. It's not militant, but it's defined. What is tolerated, what is not? If they show up 2 minutes late, will they be fired? Maybe, maybe not. Is it the same for everyone? If they don't know and they're caught off guard, that's not cool. Clarity and consistency. If one person gets fired for it, someone else can't be. Gotta have clarity, gotta have consistency. They wanna know where they stand. Your biggest enemy with new staff is ambiguity. Ambiguity is your enemy, like nothing else. Where am I going? What's happening? How long is this? Those are your enemy. Real training. So, who here has a 5-day training at least? All right, we got some work to do. If I was to say, I'm a banker. You're gonna give me $600. I'm gonna produce $15,000 with that. Is that a good investment? Let's say I can produce $15,000 about half the time. The rest of the time it'll be around $5,000. Still doing that investment? Well, if I say, hey, if you invest $100, it'll grow to around 800 and then it will go away. You just won't have it. It'll just be gone. It'll grow to 800 in your bank account and then it'll go to 0. Okay, I just read you the numbers of hiring. $600 investment to have 2 people for a week. Worst case scenario, really. And that's 1 trainer with them. That's a worst case, really. Let's even go 1,000. But if they get to a $3,000 that you don't need to replace that person, that they could do the work of 2 people on the line, and they stay for a long period of time, and you don't need to keep putting in that $600, then that's an investment that pays for itself. Now, if you keep going up to now they can manage a night, but they need help. I need 2 of them. And now they just don't like the job anymore because no one's talking to them. They're wearing a dirty hat and no one's giving them a new one. It goes to 0. They leave. So, 5 days, minimum. What in that 5 days? Orientation. Universal rules. Day 1, don't teach them food day 1. None of that. Here's labor law. Here's liquor law. Here's sexual harassment training. Get all the boring stuff out of the way. And then on top of that, a big one on culture. Here's how you'll get fired here. If you get fired or you want to leave, here's how you should quit. Here's how you're going to get your money. Here's all the stuff you should know. That's day one. If this is a new bookkeeper you hire, a new person who's doing anything in your business, I don't care what it is, they do universal day one. All training goes into 3 categories. 3. Odds are you have 1, maybe 2. I'm suggesting all 3. Book, classroom, PDFs, videos, all that. That's book. 1-to-1. I'm gonna make it, you're gonna make it. 1-to-1, on site. Now you're gonna make it the rest of the night. If you purely have on site, not good enough. If you have just 1-to-1 a little bit, not good enough. If you just have book, now jump into on site, not good enough. All 3. So book, here is a pepperoni pizza. The pepperoni pizza has 55 pepperonis, 23 on the outside, 22 here, then 1 in the center. That's a photo of it. Here's a video of Tom making it. And now take a test. How many pepperonis? 20, 34, 55. 55. Graduated book training. Now you're gonna make a pizza with Lexi. Lexi's, okay, you saw the video. Here's the pepperoni pizza. I just made it, now you do. Now if they have the pizza in front of them, and Lexi just says, okay, you get it? Is that 1-to-1 training? Help me out. Is that 1-to-1? No, that is nod your head training. You've trained them to nod their head and say, I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to look dumb. I got it. Yeah, do you get it? I got it. I don't got it. They don't know anything. Here's a good example. Nod your head training. I'm good. So at Andolini's, this is how we flip books. You got it? Anyone got it? No, you don't. I need to say, at Andolini's, we take the book. We have the cover on the top. Your hand placed flat, 4 fingers, bottom. Flip the book on the top. The goal is 2 flips, going for 2 flips. Oh, I did it wrong too as a trainer. Let's do it again. Hand it flat, here, here. Sometimes that'll happen, but still, we haven't got it right yet. 2 flips. That's how we do it. Now, new hire, you show me. And when they can do that, then I trust that they know how to do things the Andolini's way of flipping a book. Until that, no. And now all night, every time a book comes through the POS, you're gonna flip it. That's repetition. That's 5 days. You can't do, that took me 3 times. You can't do that if you just do nod your head training and hope, and hope. I come from a Marine Corps family. My father's lieutenant colonel. I was at officer candidate school of the Marine Corps. I have type 1 diabetes. So I did all of OCS, and now I do this because I am medically discharged. My brother was a Marine. My nephew served 2 tours. The Marines do it that exact way. That's how we win wars. And then we yell. That's when we get yelled out after we fail. I'm not suggesting you yell, but you do it, and then you verify. Here's how you clean a weapon, now you do it. Here's how you clean a weapon, now you do it. Now we verify, now you're gonna clean your weapon all night. That's how training is, not nod your head. 5 days, go through the menu over and over and over again. Is there a negative if they've done it 20 times? What's the negative of that? None, none. I use a training program. I use videos. I have to test through it. I have a new training program. I'm not paid by them or anything. It's a fascinating new one because the world has changed, right? This is new. This is not even in my slides. I sent the slides out before this occurred. So here's a new training program. 5 years ago when I did all these videos, it was, hey, so here's how we're going to make this pizza. Here's how we're going to do this. 5-minute video. No more. I have a TikTok style level training called Bites that gets the pizza shown in under 60 seconds. I filmed myself making it. I did the voiceover. It's not as glossy. I put the ingredients on the screen, real simple and fast. That's the future. It's a program called Bites, B-I-T-E-S, out of Tel Aviv. Big fan. And if you're wondering, should you use it? I think you should. I think you have to train with book training, and it's going to get faster. There is no book. I call it book training. You got to get faster. And that's how we save time. by hitting their brain faster and with more visual. That's technology, which I believe in. I also believe in rank structure. I just told you I came from a Marine Corps background. Rank shows me where I am and where I'm going. What does this do? It deletes ambiguity. I know my rank. I know where I'm going. I know what I want to achieve. Not just, I'm a pizza guy, and that's all I'll ever be. No, we train our entry-level staff to eventually become a pizzaiolo, where they do a week-long, upper-level fermentation class with me. If they succeed through that, around 3 months more, they can then take the gray jacket chef class. They now learn all about business, all about food ordering, all about being a cook and a chef. Even people that are not in these programs, my drivers have to take a training on how to properly deliver, how to set up a catering order, how to ensure the customer is happy, and then they get a red jacket. All these things are earned. And by earning something, an employee finds value. They find worth. They are on a course in their life of growth. How much are your high school football players getting paid? How much do they get paid to play football? Bupkis. How hard are they working? They're getting up to watch film, to watch it during lunch. The good teams are. Why? Because here's the secret. Every single one of your employees wants to be great. Some of them are not athletic. And maybe, just maybe, they could be great at you and your restaurant. Are you giving them that opportunity through gaining rank? Not just money, rank. Not just now you're a manager, more work, rank, exclusivity. I earned this, Dad. And that when their parents come in, you say, hey, your kid's special. Thank you for raising him because he's who makes this place run. And obviously, it's because of you. That parent is not going to mind when that kid comes home late from work if that's the talk and the ethos that you deliver. Technology can motivate, direct pay cards, point of sale, all these things are at your disposal to ensure their success. Don't allow staff to be tempted. Have cameras. Watch the cameras. This will reduce time theft or any theft for that matter. And always keep it simple and stupid. KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. Do not overcomplicate things unnecessarily. Who reports to who? Everything is the same terminology. Makes it easy to know and delete ambiguity. Self-investment, professionalism, leadership, communication. All these are life skills they should be gaining in your business. And exploit pride, not labor. Do not run them into the ground. But like a football team, say, are we the best? What are we doing to be the best? Because that is contagious. Apathy and pride are both contagious. Cash and gifts. You can give them a raise, or if you bought them Post Malone tickets, they're going to remember that a lot more. Gifts. I'm running through the slides, and if you want any of these slides, you can email me. I'm going to have the last slide be my QR code to email me because I want to avoid the pitfalls of something I want to get to. Schedule is your biggest problem and your best friend. If you schedule without empathy, you will lose staff. Today is Wednesday. If the schedule for Monday is not up today, you are disrespecting your staff. They cannot plan a life, and they will not work for you in time. Have patience for your staff. Care about their growth, and they will care about your restaurant, and lead by example. I said to have passion. If you care about your pizza this much, if you care about your chicken, your omelets, whatever, this much, they will at best care this much. If you care this much and expect this, that's not how life works, people. I'm gonna skip a Q&A. I'm gonna answer questions after. I wanna say as a final note, Tarawa. Who here knows about the Battle of Tarawa? I'm not a guy who's just in love with war and history, but I find this to be a fascinating thing whenever someone says, I have idiots that work for me. In the Great D-Day battle, there was no battle more bloody than the Marine Corps Battle of Tarawa. The amount of death that kids going into this theater of war, they all knew, by and large, most of them were gonna have the door drop and they were gonna die. And that kid was led by an older kid to do it because we had to defeat the enemy. We had to be a team. We had to lead by example. How? How did that occur? How did we as a nation trust 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds to defeat Nazis? We did it through leadership. We did it because it had to get done, and we did it through training. I believe if we could do that with 17 and 18-year-olds, they could case sausage and make meatballs. I believe that can be done. I believe you can teach them to do that if you have the patience and love to care about the employee. That is my time. I am Mike Bausch. Thank you so much.